Hello, I'm Pam Carruthers of healingstars.com. I'm a soul astrologer, so I look at the stars, and people often say to me, what's going on in the stars? Now, astrology is actually about planets rather than stars. However, I like the word stars. Here is the chart for the new moon. It's happening on Thursday, 23rd of April, and it's set for London, 3:25 a.m. And I use a colour wheel to give you some insight into the movement of the planets. So now we have a new moon in Taurus. The sun changed sign into Taurus a few days back. So here it is, down here, Taurus. And notice Uranus is also close. Now Uranus is taking about 7 years to go through the sign of Taurus, and it creates massive change. We can't avoid it. And I think this is really what's underneath what's going on with the pandemic. We are all being asked to change our daily routines, how we view the world, who our friends are, our neighbours. And I find that extraordinary. I've never witnessed this. I haven't lived through a war, but it is almost as if we've got that kind of spirit. The sun will join Uranus on Sunday. So it only happens one day a year, and the sun is consciousness. So the sun is activating this rebel planet. Genius is Uranus. Revolution was discovered at the time of the American War of Independence, the French Civil War, just to give you some idea. And as I said, it takes 7 years to go through the sign of Taurus. Also, you might notice 6 degrees of Uranus and his Chiron, also at 6 degrees in Aries. They're in a combination, a weak connection, but even so, Chiron is the archetype of the wounded healer. And in Aries, it takes about 7-8 years to go through Aries. It is activating a wound around being a pioneer. If you're around 50 years old, then you're going through Chiron, returning back to where it was at your birth. One thing that is very important about this new moon is that Saturn is now in Aquarius. It takes about 2.5 years to go through a sign. It will retrograde back into Capricorn, but not yet. And Mars has been right there with Saturn. Here it is, Mars up here in Aquarius. Mars is activating an and it's aggressive planet. So it's given a lot of heat to this virus in terms of activity. Now, it's good news that Mars is now waning away. It's moving away from Saturn. The stress factor of Mars and Saturn is huge. And it only happens once every 2 years. So that is good news. Meanwhile, you can't avoid it, Jupiter and Pluto are side by side. Now they can be incredibly positive in a birth chart. They can be the sign of someone who's a newspaper magnate, wielding a lot of power, and also very productive because it's Capricorn. However, we're not out of the woods yet, obviously. We have to keep calm, collected, patient. Not an easy thing to do. But also notice Venus here. Venus is in the sign of Gemini, and it's moving slowly because it's going to go retrograde, as if it's only as seen from Earth. It doesn't actually go backwards. No planet does. And when it does that, it's staying in Gemini for quite a long time, months in fact, as opposed to about 4 weeks normally. So Gemini is the only sign of the zodiac that passes over the Milky Way. And it was believed that we incarnated through Gemini, the twins. And the only other sign that goes over the Milky Way is Scorpio. And that's where ancients believed we left a planet, we died. So there's a really incredible symbolism happening here. I do believe that what we are all going through is like a 12th house transit. That means as if we're waiting to be born. We're in the birth canal, and that extreme pressure of birthing is not happening yet. I can't say that with any justification. However, I do believe it will be happening, and May paints a different picture. The other thing to notice, of course, the nodes of the moon is the node here, the Cancer is the south node in Capricorn. They will be changing sign, and that's an 18-month cycle. So that pressure of the moon, that's Cancer is the moon, Capricorn is Saturn. So that is a mother-father energy. So we'll be moving backwards into Gemini and Sagittarius. A lot lighter in energy, and certainly moves away from the Pluto-Jupiter conjunction in Capricorn. So the other thing to notice is Venus. Venus is an evening star at this present time. And once it goes retrograde in May, it will then disappear from the sky and reappear as a morning star. It's quite an extraordinary thing if you think about that. And the energy is very different being an evening star to a morning star, obviously. So notice on Sunday, when the sun is with Uranus, activating change, Venus and the moon will be joined, the crescent moon. You'll see it in the sky. Look towards the west after the sun has set, and on a clear night, hopefully, you'll see that beautiful crescent moon aligned with the diamond in the sky, Venus. It's a perfect day for a ritual, and I'm going to be talking more about that, publishing something about that. But certainly any ritual involving Venus is about flowers, beauty, crystals, everything that makes you feel good about yourself. To kind of get dressed up. You know, imagine Sunday is a party for the goddess. Wear your best clothes, put on makeup, if you wear makeup, that is. But also to celebrate the energy of the goddess of love. In the tarot, Gemini is the lovers. So notice that, the masculine and the feminine coming together, which of course is what love is all about, what relationships are all about. Mars and Venus are in a trine. However, that blue line is called a trine, a flow of energy in air signs. However, they never made it exact. It's extraordinary how that happens, but you didn't actually come to exactitude. But even so, it's a very specific message for this beautiful Taurus new moon. Thank you for watching. I'm Pam Carruthers of Healing Stars, and my website is healingstars.com. Thank you. Bye for now. Take care. Bye-bye.